My guest is Bobby. Bobby, why are you here?
I'm here today, Steve, because the mother of my son has been accused of starving my son, feeding him mayonnaise sandwiches for dinner.
How old is your son?
My son's 6 years old, Steve.
6 years old?
Yes, sir.
And who's accusing her of this?
My neighbor.
And feeding them mayonnaise, what did you say, mayonnaise sandwiches for dinner?
Yes, sir.
That's not very nutritious, right? Is there any reason is she like really poor or?
Lazy.
Lazy?
Yeah.
Is there any reason somebody be making this up?
Well, my son has actually told me this too, so it's not just my neighbor.
What does your son say to you?
My son tells me that his mom hits him with shoes on his butt, feeds him mayonnaise sandwiches. He actually came to my house one day and said, Dad, I asked him what he wanted for dinner, and he said, Dad, I want a mayonnaise sandwich. And I'm like, whoa, you know what I mean? That really surprised me, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And, you know, I haven't always been in my son's life. You know, I haven't always been the best father, Steve, but watching your show has really helped me to be a better father, and I mean that.
I'm glad.
And just the way that you treat deadbeat dads, I don't want to be that guy that you treat that way. I want to be the guy that's there for my kids day in and day out. And for the last year and a half, I have been, Steve.
So you saw the show and
Yes,
you said,
sir.
I want to be in.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And why weren't you in your son's life?
Well, I had things to me that were more important than my son and my kids. I also have a daughter.
And like what? What was more important?
Well, honestly, Steve, I had a drug habit.
You were a drug
I had a drug habit, and I have been clean now for about a year and a half.
Good for you. Good for you. See, there's, you know, you did bad, and now you're doing good,
Yes,
and
sir.
that's what we're trying to do here. Now, Jennifer, we had your son with.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about the relationship with her.
Actually, the relationship between me and her for the last 6 years of my son's life has been the worst relationship I could have with anybody. She used to run off with her other boyfriends, have not, and when she ran off, she wouldn't tell me. She wouldn't give me a phone number, and she wouldn't tell me what town she was at. So there was 6 months at a time, not once, twice that this happened, that I didn't get to see my son, couldn't find him.
Because she took off with your son.
Took off with my son, and you know, I'm here today to find out if she has been doing this to my son, and if she has.
So you think there's physical abuse with your son?
Oh yes, definitely, and mental abuse.
What other things has she done?
She keeps him, when she was living with the neighbor told me that she used to keep him in his room 24 hours a day. She's taken him out of school and then ran off with another guy and then came back and tried to put him in school, and they said no. He was in pre-K last year. So he missed half of a school year last year, you know what I'm saying? Jennifer and one of her ex-boyfriends used to go to McDonald's and Wendy's, and my son told me the other day and broke down in tears. That's why I know that this is true. He never has broke down in tears in front of me, Steve. He broke down in tears in front of me and said that his mom used to go and get, like, you know, hamburger, french fries, and wouldn't offer him a single fry, Steve. Would eat in front of him like a pig, you know, and that upsets me, you know, because...
And your son told you this?
Yes.
And he broke down crying as he told you this story?
Yes, sir.
So...
And he has never once done that to me. It took him a while to open up to me.
And he's 6 years old?
6 years old, and...
Okay. She has sex in front of your son?
Yes, that was my neighbor that witnessed that.
So
really,
he's locked up in a room with her?
Basically, yeah. She won't let him go outside and play with her friends, ever. His friends, excuse me.
If she passes?
If she passes, you know, actually, if she fails or if she passes, I want her to be in my son's life, Steve. I'm not the kind of guy that wants to take my son from his mother. I don't want him later on down the road to accuse me of being the guy that took him away from his mom. No, but she needs help. And she needs it today. She needs it whenever she can get it. Until she does get help,
and you have your son now?
Yes, he's been with me for the last month and hasn't seen his mom, asked about his mom, or even said that he loves his mom. And that hurts my feelings.
How can you do this to me? I love my son. Can't you see the tears in my eyes?
I see the tears in your eyes, Jennifer, but I believe my son over you, and I believe your next door neighbor over you.
He's 6 years old, Bobby. He's 6 years old.
So why would he tell me that you fed him a mayonnaise sandwich? He doesn't make that up.
I did feed him that at first because he was little.
You did?
He cried about it.
He cried about a mayonnaise sandwich?
That he wanted
Feed the boy a Happy Meal.
I did give him Happy Meals. He ate everything.
Yeah, well, then why isn't he happy if you gave him Happy Meals?
He is happy.
No, he's not.
Is any of this, even slightly true?
No.
None of it?
No.
None of it?
None of it.
Okay.
Did
you ever have sex in front of your son?
No.
He tells the story. 6-year-old comes to him, his son, and says, Mom went through Wendy's, ordered a burger and fry, and didn't give me one fry. And he
Where did I
breaks
go
down
to
and he's
Wendy's?
crying. Or McDonald's, whatever.
My used to take him to Wendy's and stuff.
Oh, I forgot you never been there, sir. Excuse me.
I have been there. What are you talking about? I have been there. I have been there. I've been there. I have been there.
Well, you're not going to be there no more.
Okay. We're not
I have been there.
we're not going to sit anymore.
Why you want to get to
I
stop
know,
saying
but
like that?
Here, listen.
I have been there.
Okay, he's come on the show and he said, hey, I was not a good dad. He said.
He's never been.
Okay, he says he wasn't a good dad. He was on drugs. Drugs were more important to him than his kids. That takes a lot.
That's a poor excuse
Right,
for a father.
and that takes a lot to admit. I mean, most guys don't want to admit that. But he has some issues. Kids not being fed right. You're beating them with shoes on, hitting them with shoes. That's not true?
No. Later.
Going to a fast food place and ordering food and not
stuff
giving.
to eat.
So you've
He's not
never.
He probably underweight now.
Did you lock him in a room?
I had him in the room with me because I didn't want him to go outside with them bad kids.
Okay, so you were in the room with
It's a
him.
very bad neighborhood.
So you would
I
lock.
wasn't there with him. I didn't lock him in the room by himself. I was in there with
So
him.
he was never in the room by himself.
No.
locked in. You didn't hit him with a shoe?
No.
Okay. And never had sex in front of your son?
No.
All right, we have, I guess, who was a neighbor of yours at one time named Debbie? Mm-hmm. Let's bring
It's
her
not
out.
his neighbor, though. Whatever.
Debbie, you used to live with them, right?
No, she lived with me.
She lived with you?
Yes.
And what do you have to say about this?
I have to say that you are lying.
Whatever.
I'm sick and tired of your lying.
Whatever.
You're lying to your
Get out of my
to your
face.
don't
She's
tell me to
not-
get out of
she's
my
Get out of my face.
She's not in your face.
She needs to get away from me right now before I steal
You
it.
kept
I did not hit
I said you 24 hours
Well,
a
I'm
day.
sorry. I mean,
You never let him out the
Whatever.
blood.
Did you have sex in front of
No,
her
I
son?
did not.
She had sex morning, noon, and night.
Yeah, that's. I had a
The room
boyfriend.
with
Whatever.
in the
Whatever.
room.
If you were locked in a room with them 24/7,
Not
where were you?
24/7.
Well, that's what
Days
you
when
said.
Whatever. Like you care about.
Where
him,
were you
please,
having sex
anyway.
then?
In my bed. His bed was right there. It's
His bed was at the end of your bed.
So you were having
That's what
sex
you're
in front of your
thinking
son?
in the same room, but he wasn't in the bed with me, and it was like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. What are you supposed to do?
Why would you have sex with your son sleeping at the foot of your bed?
It wasn't at the foot. He wasn't in my bed. He has his own little bed. He has a SpongeBob bed.
Okay, so with his bed's at the foot of your bed, why are you having sex with him in the room? You don't see a problem with that?
No, we
Boys
didn't
don't
even
see
see
problems
it.
with things like that. Sorry.
I don't see problems.
Because you don't care about your son.
Yeah, I do care about my son.
Okay, we asked you, have you ever had sexual intercourse in front of your son? You said yes, and you confessed because he was there sleeping in the room, and obviously you don't see a problem with that. Have you ever had sexual intercourse with your son in the same room? You basically told us that, and you said yes, and you confessed, and you said while he was sleeping. You obviously see no problem with having sex with a man in your room. Your son's
He wasn't
sleeping.
in the bed with me beside me. Like he wasn't in the bed
He's
beside me.
in the room.
Exactly.
He couldn't even have a room in that
Listen,
house.
if I was in your room, I wouldn't want you to be having sex, okay? And I'm not a child. I wouldn't want to be in a room with you
How
having
about you
sex.
pick him up 2 o'clock more? Here, Debbie. Here.
Wait
I'm
and
gonna have
control
sex in my
yourself
room.
until your son's
What
not
do you
in the
do
room.
that for?
Other than spanking and tapping him with the belt, have you ever hit your son with excessive force? And you answer no. And the results are you didn't tell the truth.
Right.
Have you ever hit your son with
Whatever.
excessive force using... It's not whatever. You
I
failed.
said whatever to her.
Okay. And please be quiet.
Have
Have you ever hit your son with excessive force using a shoe? You said no, and you know you lied.
Whatever. Whatever.
Have you ever witnessed someone abuse your son, and you? No, this here question is not funny at all. Have you ever witnessed someone abuse your son and you did nothing to stop it? Can you imagine? You did nothing to stop it. You did nothing as mom. You answered no, and you didn't tell the truth.
What? I didn't do anything to stop it. I had to whoop a because he was beating on my son, and you weren't there, and I called you and told you.
He's a 6-year-old boy. Why do you need to use excessive force on a 6-year-old?
I didn't use excessive force. No, I did not.
It says it right.
What it said.
Oh, you got caught. Oh, I'm so
Got
sweet.
caught. Leave me alone, Bobby. Don't say nothing.
No, I'm not leaving you alone. We got court papers to get through yet, baby girl.
Oh, well.
You know what? I want both of you to leave the
Yes,
stage for a second,
Yes, sir.
okay?
You got it.
At your distraction. Okay, now it's just you and me on the stage, all right? And I'm going to ask you again. Are you really okay with the way you're talking up here and behaving?
No, but he's making me do it.
You know what? Nobody can make me act like that. Nobody.
I have so much anger. I hate him.
And I have anger in me, too, towards certain people, but I would never act that way. I just can't believe, like...
You know the whole reason why he even did this?
Listen.
I was homeless. That's why he did it. That's why he wants him.
Well,
But I'm
okay,
not now.
if you were homeless,
That's
maybe.
why he's doing
okay, but wait a
this.
second. If you were homeless, wouldn't it be good sense to have your son
And
in
I
a
took
place
him there and I
okay,
told him. He said,
all
I'll
right.
give him back. But he never did it. When I found a place, he wouldn't
Okay,
do it.
so you have a place now.
Yes.
Okay.
I love my boyfriend. It's really, I have 3
See,
bedrooms
but
now.
no, but that causes me concern. You live with your boyfriend and
So
right?
what's wrong with that? She's got
well,
kids.
you know why? Because you have sex in front of your son with guys.
He was.
It doesn't
God.
matter. Listen, I shouldn't have to explain this to you. You're 29 years old. It's a shame. Do you see nothing wrong with any of your behavior at all?
Yes, I do.
Okay, what do you see wrong?
Well, I lash out a lot. I have a lot of problems.
Okay.
And I get help with it, but
Okay.
it's hard. I can't.
Is there any acting civilly between the two of you, knowing that when you were struggling and you were homeless, that he did take your son in to give him a place to stay till you got back on your feet?
Yeah.
So
I took him there.
Right.
Because he's the only one I can look
right.
to.
That I'm saying that's good that you did. Good.
Take him. That's the only person I can rely on.
Okay. That's the only person you can rely on.
Yeah, to bring him, take him to my.
Okay. There's
I didn't have
nothing
nowhere to
wrong.
stay.
Right. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. And that's like, okay, he's dad, he's stepping up to the plate.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is knowing that he's willing to do that, know that he's doing that.
It's good that he wants to do that, but he doesn't need to talk about me the way he does. And her, why do you
Well,
bring
but
her
if
own
he,
self?
listen, Bob said that he doesn't want to cut you out of his life.
He's doing it. I haven't seen him in a month.
Well, did
He
you go
knows
over
where I
there?
live at.
Well, but you know where your son's at.
Yeah, but he told me I couldn't come over there.
And so, come on.
Anyway.
Are you in just total denial?
No, I'm not in denial. I know what I do.
You know
I know
you do?
what I've done.
Well, what have you done?
I haven't had sex with one of my kids. He's been in the room. He has a different bed. I have a different bed. He hasn't witnessed me doing it.
How do you know?
Everybody say, oh my God, but I'm sure they had sex with their kid in the room. Yeah, y'all probably have. In the same bed.
So
in a
listen,
different bed.
it doesn't matter if it's a different bed.
He didn't see anything.
How do you know?
I know it.
Okay, you know everything, right?
I do
Because
know.
kids don't wake up and look over, right? Am I supposed to help you?
I'm so mad. What am I supposed to act?
But I'm seriously, I'm supposed to help you.
I already get help.
What's that?
I already get help.
You're ready to get help. So you don't need my help then,
I
right?
do need your help
Okay.
to be a better mom and everything. I'm just,
I know that. And I'm not saying that facetiously or joking around. Some of the stuff that you say, some of the things, the way you act, first of all, you have an anger problem.
yeah.
You don't take any responsibility for your own behavior.
But I don't do anything. I don't take drugs or anything.
I feel sorry for your son, I really do.
Whatever.
Whatever. And with that, whatever, you can get your ass off my stage. The way she talks to you guys, it's a shame. It doesn't help the situation. And the way you guys talk to her is the same way.
You're right.
Okay? There's a way to argue and there's a way to bring things up, but instigating this, and you're all guilty of it. You're all guilty of it. And if you have all this drama going on between you and her, it really doesn't serve your son any purpose. It's not good for him. It's not good for you guys. It's no good to live like this. You have your son now.
That's correct.
I don't know if she's fit to be a mother. I'm not an expert, but this is my general opinion. I'm giving it. I don't think she's a good mom. I don't think she's putting her son in the safest, most kid-friendly environments with these boyfriends and sleeping with whoever. Mm-hmm. That's not good for it. Right. So I would suggest that you fight really hard for your son, and obviously you got some legal paperwork in the process. And I think you should fight to keep your son, keep him in custody. You said you don't want to cut her out of his life,
No,
which
sir.
is good.
No, sir.
But really, when you get together, can you stop fighting?
Yeah.
Can you stop fighting?
If she'll let me get a word in. She never lets me get a word in.
Okay, but even if she doesn't let you get a word in, you got to stop
with it,
fighting.
huh?
You got to deal with it.
Yes, sir.
Can you do that?
I'll try my
All
hardest,
right.
Steve.
So you're going to go back. We'll help you with whatever we can. But you go back, you take care of your son, you try to get custody of him, and you let us know how it's going, and we want to update this because I'm interested to know how this story turns out.
Okay.
Good luck to you.
Thank you so much,
And I'm
Steve.
glad you got off drugs, and I'm glad you get the point of the show about being a good dad.
Yes, sir.
That's what it's about, and if I made change in one guy, then I'm doing my job. Thank you very much.
You have done it, Steve.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I called you, Steve, for help because I watch your show all the time.
Somebody's going to watch this and say, you know what, she was brave enough to do that, I can do that too.